Hello, my name is Amber and this is my November TBR. So as always, I have a few readathons that I'm trying to do this month, so I will try to break them down through that, as well as put all the information for all the readathons down below. First, I am trying to do the 1,000 Doors readathon, but I will focus more on that in my vlogs. For each readathon, I will have any kind of graphic or anything they have for the readathon. For the first one, the prompt is to read a book by a POC author, and for this one I am picking Trail of Lightning. All I know is that our main character is a monster hunter in a apocalyptic dystopian type world. Next was a book to movie adaptation. I am going more book to TV show adaptation and picking My Hero Academia. This is the second volume in the series. And then next is a comfort read. For this one I am going to be going with one that I'm a little nervous to read this month, but that is Undercover Bromance. This is the sequel sort of to the Bromance Book Club. I absolutely love that first book. It became an absolute favorite for me, so I am really excited to get into the second one, but I have heard some mixed things, so I'm a little nervous about it. Next is a historical fiction. For that one I am going to be picking up Blood for Blood. Hopefully, I've had this on my TBR multiple times so far this year and I've yet to get to it, so hopefully this will be the month that I actually do. Then was a book with a 3-word title. For this one I am going with Unravel the Dusk. This is the second and final in the Spin the Dawn duology. Absolutely one of my favorite books that I read. I think I put it in my top 10 last year. I loved that book, so I'm really excited to continue on with the sequel and see how this duology ends. And then the last one is a 2020 release. For that one I am actually going to be using Among the Beast and Briars. I have it ordered. It's just taking forever to get to me, so I'm hoping it does get here sometime this month, but I do have access to the audiobook. But that is everything for that readathon. The next one is set up in a bingo board style, so I have it situated where I can complete bingo, and that is the main concern, but I am trying to fill out as much as I possibly can on the board as well. The first one is pre-order, which of course I'm going to be using Among the Beast and Briars for. Then is a 5-star prediction. I'm putting a lot of hope in this and using Undercover Bromance. Then we have your favorite genre. For this one I'm just going to go with a romance. I plan on picking up You Deserve Each Other. I believe this is about a couple that is engaged and plans to get married, but they actually don't like each other anymore, and so they're going to try and sabotage the wedding plans so that one or the other has to pay for everything. Just sounds fun, and I really like second chance relationship stories like this. Next is Mental Health Rep, which this one I'm going to be using the novella Father Mine by J.R. Ward. Next is to read a whole book in a weekend. I'm going to be going with The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren, a couple that is very well known for their remodeling and home design. They have a show and they're very popular, but behind the scenes they actually don't like each other. So this is another one of those second chance relationships. The main two that I don't have any books for the prompts is a book starting with N and a nonfiction book. I'm just going to be leaving those blank. Moving on, I have to read a book while snuggled up. While this could work for anything, I am trying to just use all the books that I plan on reading this month anyways. For this one I plan on using Paper Princess. I've heard good stuff. I think it's going to be quick and easy to get through. Next is a diverse read. For this one I'm going to be using Revenge in the Wild. I know this is a saloon western type setting. There's monsters and magic, and our main character lost her arm when she was a child. This is one that I've had on my list for a very long time. It just sounds so interesting and I just haven't gotten around to it. And then I have TBR Repeater. For this one I'm going to be using one that I keep saying I'm going to read and keep putting off, and that is Roar Burning. And the next one is a morning read. For this one you have to, as soon as you wake up in the morning, not check your phone, not do anything, just instantly start reading. And I'm gonna try and do this one, but I'm not sure if I'll actually end up doing it. But the one that I want to try and use for this one is The Burning Sky. I know this is a book about elemental magic. It is a older series that is another one that's been sitting on my shelf for such a long time, and I just want to finally try and get to it this month. Next is to read a book that was gifted to you, and for that one I'm going to be using Unravel the Dusk again. And then the next one in the line is to read an ebook or an audiobook. For this one I'm going to be using Vengeance Road by Erin Bauman. Our main character's father is murdered and she ends up dressing up as a boy to try and figure out what happened and get the answers to that. And then there are a couple of prompts on this bingo board that you don't have to read a specific book for it, it's just something to do. The last one on this list is a book buying ban, and that is to not buy any new books in November. I'm gonna try with this one, but I can't promise anything. So the next one is a buddy read. I'm gonna be tweaking this one a little bit just because I'm horrible at buddy reads, so I don't tend to do them very very often. So I'm going to say this is reading a book with my dog instead of having it actually be a buddy read because I am terrible at them. So for this one I plan on using The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the prequel to The Hunger Games. I think everybody knows what this book is now at this point. Next is to read 4 books, so it is to complete 3 prompts, and then this will be counted as the 4th book for this prompt. For this one I'm going to be using Would Like to Meet. This is, I believe, a story about a girl who is trying to get a film agency's biggest client to agree to a film. That client unfortunately doesn't believe in rom-coms because he doesn't believe that that kind of thing is realistic, so it is down to our main character trying to prove to him that it is real and trying to get him to agree to do this movie. Next is format mix-up. For this one I'm going to be using Blood for Blood for that as well, since I do have the audiobook available for it. And then next is to read and watch an adaptation. For that one I'm going to be using My Hero Academia, of course. And next is to read a book that is own voices. For this one I would be reading Pride. This is a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice, and I've heard some mixed things, but I'm hopeful this is going to be really good. And then to go through the final line, the first one is to read a graphic novel, kind of switching this into a manga and using Skip Beat. This is one that I was trying to read a few months back and just never ended up completing, so hopefully this will be the month that I do that. And then there is a self-care day. The next one is to read a thin book, and for this one I'm going to be using Trail of Lightning, smallest book that I have on my TBR this month. I believe it's under 300 pages. Next is a friend recommendation. For this one I'm going to be using one that is more recommended based on how popular it is. It's a series that everyone always recommends and talks about. That is Ember in the Ashes. It is a series I've been wanting to read since it came out and just haven't. And then the final one is to read a fall cover book. For this one I'm going to be using Meet Cute. While it is definitely more summer colors, it's yellow, so I'm counting it as a fall colored book. And then we're to the final readathon for this month. This one is going to be split a little bit. So this readathon takes place between November 1st to December 27th. Because it is taking place over 2 months, I have tried to split some of the prompts between November's TBR and December's TBR. So for this one I'm just going to go through the ones that I have for November and then next month for December. So the first one is Found Family, a heist or a group. For this one I'll be using Aurora Burning. Then there is a book with an animal in it. I will be using Among the Beasts and Briars for this one. Then it is a book that is intimidating to you. No surprise, I'm going to be using The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Then I have a book that is a scary book, and I'm going to be using Revenge in the Wild. And then it's just a free space. So for this one I plan on using Undercover Burman. Then it's a character you want to fight. I honestly didn't know what to pick for this, so I kind of just threw one in there for it, and I'm going to be using Blood for Blood for this prompt. Then it's a book that is recommended or was bought for you. I've already mentioned that this was gifted to me, so I'm going to be using Unravel the Desk for this prompt. And then the next prompt is a book you don't remember. So I'm going to be using Wind Witch for this one. I read Truth Witch a while back, and I honestly don't remember pretty much anything about it. While I do want to continue on with the series, I'm definitely going to need like a recap or something before I get started in the sequel. Then is another free space that I will be using in November, and for that one I'm going to be using Pride. And then the next one is a book with a map in it. For that one I'm going to be using Ember in the Ashes. There's probably a few other ones that have maps, I just know this is one that I know off the top of my head that definitely did. And then the last two, I have The Oldest Book by Publication. For this one, easily is going to end up going to Skip Beat. And then the final one is the final free space, which I will be using We Deserve Each Other for. I believe that is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you plan on reading this month down below, and I will see you guys next time.